Since you said it is a project that's fast to build, do you have a construction time estimation for when will Domo start building this resort and when you expect that construction is done?
Now look, there are two ways of doing this. I remember I told you that if we will have enough people who will join, because you know, because you are a part of the team, that the lands where we're gonna build are already bought. So I bought them for my money. Uh, we don't need to gather funds to buy the lands and things like this. I will put them for Domo, but it will depend on how many people will invest. Because if we will raise around 250, 300K, let's say, to make everything done, we can go with steel structure. And with steel structure, the building will be basically ready in 4 or 5 months. Okay.
Yes.
If we don't get enough people, or who knows, I always put the worst case scenario in the front. So maybe we will have one single investor, right? What will happen there? We will build, I will build for my own money, but I will go with concrete because the cost of creating with steel, right, are higher. The time is way less. Okay. If you build something and want to make profit fast, it's better to build with steel, because I told you basically you make in 5 months, you start renting, and from the 6 months you can, I mean, 5 months the building, you arrange the rooms, you get them ready, you put furniture, you put everything the people need, you make the kitchens, you make the bathrooms, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
after in the sixth month, you are already starting to making profit, you know? I mean, not profit. You are starting to get money back, more exactly, because the profit will be made only when you cover the cost of the building. But if I go in the other side, it will take me 1 year to make on concrete. And for those who don't know why, because when you make the foundation on the building, you have a certain time to let the cement to dry, okay? Because if you not let him to dry correctly, with time you can have cracks in the cement, or the people after you build the rooms, they will have humidity in the rooms, you know? And
Yeah.
these sections go on everything that contain concrete. So you go with the pillars of the building, is the same thing. It's the same time. If you go with floor, you separate the floor, it's the same time. And the time is around 20 days, technical time.
Yeah, understood. You
And
said earlier,
tell me,
sorry?
I wanted to say that it technically is 20 days, but what will happen if will rain in that period, you know? I mean, the time will go more. So you will not have 20 days. If 5 days will rain, you will have like 25, 26 days that I wanted to complete. And you cannot control those factors.
That is something that I really like about how you make Domus plannings.
Yeah, I
You,
mean, we need to think logical, because we cannot go to the people with we will finish, because the building initially it will take like 6 months, you know, but you need to put a weather environment in the mat. If you don't do it, and maybe a worker get hit by and make a have an accident, you know, and that worker is irreplaceable to the project. So everything must be think about it.
this is something that I really like because you see most on this in this community in the crypto space, a lot of projects, a lot of founders with a happy-go-lucky posture. They think everybody's gonna go perfectly, even if they are dealing with investors' money, with which I think is a little irresponsible. And this is a quality that I can state, having talked to you and making plans with you for the past few months,
Thank
that you have this security, you have this responsibility to consider. There are things that we don't have control. There are things that we have be planning, and to always account for the positive and the negative scenario, for the pessimist and the optimist scenario. This way we can have and give our investors a realistic approach. This is something that I really like.
you. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate this, Roger. But the thing is that, as you said on the most of crypto project, if you don't speak those things with the investors, because everyone, our community members, are not a community member because as I saw many Discord, hey, hello fam, no, everyone, you, me, we have our own family. Okay, we are a community of people who are trying to achieve something in the crypto space, right? So basically, they are not fam. We can be friends, we can have connections, but at the end of the day, the family is what God gives you, right?
Yeah,
This is how I see the things. So I saw many Discord servers because this was the idea on other project. They don't want to involve people. I mean, and how the dome will be. That's why I want the security camera, because maybe the iron will not be delivered on time. They will check there, they will see. And everything, bad or good, everything must be said to the people. People must know what is happening. Hey, our plans will be delayed because this. We have a complaint about from a neighbor who say that our building will take his son in the morning, right? Because it's happening. It, it's possible to happen this. So we need to tell to our people, to our community. We need to tell them those things, And I strongly believe when you try to give people all the transparency you are capable of, because everyone has a limit of transparency, and I can say that I'm not 100% transparent. No, maybe 90%, but 100% I cannot achieve. People will believe, people will have patience even in worse conditions. But if you go like everything is perfect, everything is going according to plan, and one day before the launch or one day before the starting of the building, you are telling them, hey, look, our authorization didn't came. Really? I mean, you have 1 month, I'm talking about the construction project because I saw some construction projects. You didn't know? I mean, they have an estimated time. When you give your investor the time, put 2 3 weeks over that. People need to expect that you will start in 2 3 weeks. If you go and start in the date I mean, let's say you have 15 of the month, you get authorization on 16, you will start. People will know that you will start on 30. But when they see you are starting sooner, they will be happy, right? But if
exactly.
you don't start on 16, people will be angry. And after that, what you will do, you will go on the Discord and you will call the people and you will tell them that they are emotional investors. No, it's not normal. So that's why I'm like this and I try to see every angle.
Yeah, you can't blame your investors for the expectations that you built as a project owner, as a co-founder. And
Or
this is something that I really appreciate. We in the marketing area, we always say under promise and over deliver. Then your client, and in Domus case, your investor, will always be happily surprised. Because if you over promise and you under deliver, then every surprise, everything that goes away from the planning will be a negative surprise.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, you know better about how the marketing is going. I have no clue. I have no experience in domain. I mean, I don't have your experience, but you know better this.
Exactly. So change the subject a little. You mentioned earlier that the resort location, the land where the resort will be built, is already bought. And
Yeah.
I have seen with my own eyes through the Google Maps that it is a wonderful location in the south coast of Romania. Really
Yes.
beautiful, with a flourishing community around, with ports, marines, and beach, kids' houses. Can you talk more about this location?
So this location basically like let's go back in time. I mean, you don't know. I was there 12 years ago. It was not the same thing, you know. I mean, they didn't have infrastructures. I mean, if you go over there with your car, you risk it to need someone else to take you out, you know. But first off, medical company, medical clinic from Romania uh, bought some land. They took some authorization from the Romanian Water Institute, and they built a marina over there. People like a harbor for yachts, for luxury yachts. Okay. After that, um everything started to change. The people who started to come in that area were like from high society. The government started to imply themselves, and they started to build the infrastructures. And at this particular point, is not in the maximum evolving. You know, it's like somewhere below the middle what that area can become, because advantage there are like this: people have workplaces, you have two shipyards, okay, uh, you have two marinas in that area, two, not one, by the way, there are two. They have probably the on no this in Romanian beaches, on the where is the sea, you have like only three zones where people have clubs on the beach, you know, they can party all night and things like this. Only three zones, and two of those zones are there, which and this area called Limanu, this is the name, is near the city Mangalia. In the future, have a great possibility to become like a very important pillar in the Romanian community.
So, talking about this location, you
Yeah,
said that in the last 12 years it has been developing the marinas, the beaches, and how can this impact in the renting price of the resort rooms? What are the profit expectations for Domus' first investment?
profit expectation. You build with 300K, right?
Right.
So you will ROI your money in 5 years, in worst case scenario.